Hello everyone,
Hello.
welcome back to some Hardspace Shipbreaker, where today we're going to take on the Javelin Tanker. So
Yeah.
next week, when we forget what we did, we're going to have to check out the first few seconds.
Yes.
No, it'll be the station hopper next time, just in case we linger a little bit longer. Ooh. So, hello Ben.
Hello.
We obviously it's conversation time, isn't it? Time to
Yes, it is.
talk about stuff.
Well, I know you have a pitiful number of topics.
I
To
do
no fault of
today.
your own, really.
It's been a dull
So,
week.
um, well, should we start with the big one? I know you can probably talk about more than I can.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, what one's that?
Steve Wright.
Oh, it's done the technical difficulties, everybody.
Poor Steve.
Yeah, he's got some technical difficulties, hasn't he? At the moment, what with having deceased.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to try that again?
We're talking about Steve Wright, the DJ, not Steve Wright, the serial killer.
I don't know. There was a serial killer called Steve Wright.
Yes, he was the Suffolk Strangler.
Yeah.
He was not deceased, serving out a whole life tariff. Yes, Steve Wright, the DJ.
The radio DJ.
Yes, yes, the popular DJ. Yes, he passed away.
He did.
No, I have some knowledge of Steve Wright because my dad used to listen to him on the radio. Steve Wright in the afternoon.
Yep.
And yeah, I liked him, but apparently he was like people say the comedian's comedian. He was the DJ's DJ by all accounts.
Yeah, he does seem
Quite
to have been quite good
Now
at it.
you enjoy your music. What are your thoughts on Steve Wright?
I did enjoy Steve Wright, but that's because I enjoy radio, like as a whole, right? I mean,
Yeah,
radio's radio as well. How am I meant to get in there?
did I?
The airlock's over here, but I can't get to it because things in the way.
I'm going a long way.
Oh, I've got to dismantle all of this shit. So no,
Mm.
I did like Steve Wright, but I like no more so than I don't know, what's his name, or the other one,
Yeah,
or that other bloke that does it.
yeah.
Scott Mills, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Okay. It was the other one you're thinking of,
Ken Bruce.
right? Well, okay. I sort of expected more from you.
Well, I figured you'd have something of value to say about this, but
Well, he died, and been a lot of compliments to him. He died after an incident. He's not being treated as suspicious, so maybe he had a fall. I don't know.
he was
But it's
69 years old, wasn't he? So I mean, that is at the point where having a fall could be a
well, yeah,
matter, a
that'll fuck
problem.
you up.
That's how I plan to go. Technically, that's
Yeah.
what got Nan. Although we always joke about Asda having killed her
Uh,
because she had a fall with
your
Asda.
your former partner has gotten engaged.
Which former partner?
First one.
Oh, the one my first shag.
Yeah, I would put it so crudely, but
Well,
yes.
I'm just trying to narrow it down a bit because it simplifies matters because everyone's only got one first shag, haven't they?
Yeah.
No, technically that's
Oh.
not true, but yeah. Anyway,
Okay. All right.
you don't want to know.
Yeah.
I did not know that she'd got engaged.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
What for?
Um.
What's there to be sorry for?
I don't know. Yes.
I mean, she clearly made the wrong choice. I'm a delight.
You know, we've actually shared a bed.
What, you and her?
No, you and me.
Well, yes. Not at the same time, but yes.
No, we have shared a bed.
Have we?
Yeah.
I don't remember, but okay.
Years ago, the three of us fell asleep in the same bed.
Me, you, and my more recent ex.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I honestly don't remember that, but fair enough. Well, I don't remember a white noise machine, so probably not.
No. No.
Fair enough.
Anyway.
What made you think of that?
No, I just.
Are you
can't
pining for the days when we shared a bed, Ben? Is that if you want to come and snuggle?
Is that
That's
a
fine.
threesome? Does that count?
No, but I have had technically I've had a foursome.
Christ.
I mean, I was only really paying attention to two people at the time, but yeah, I have had a foursome, and I've definitely had a threesome.
Well, yes, Steve Wright passed away.
Yeah, how did we get from that to that?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, this is your fault because I mentioned I mentioned my nan having died from a fall, and you moved on to the ex that's now engaged, and then you started talking about how we've shared a bed together and maybe had a threesome. Was there any sex involved in that?
No, I did. Do you want to know my logic for that?
Go on.
Well, when you said your nan died of a fall, the first thing that popped in my head was, oh, that's how your child was conceived.
A fall?
And I thought that didn't make any sense, but that's what got me onto the subject of children, and I remembered I saw her Facebook post because she now has a child.
And is engaged, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, well, like I say, made the wrong call. I got on well with all her family. If you're watching, if you happen to be watching, you know, you missed out. I'm a delight, always have been, and you know, you could have had all of us.
Yeah, Steve Wright died.
He did die, didn't he?
Yeah. Yes, very, very well regarded by his peers, by all accounts. He seems like a lovely man. I enjoyed his radio show. Don't know enough about DJing to really comment on his skill, though apparently he was
popular. That's what you need. That's all you need. That's all you need to know is that he was popular.
Well, it's more than that, isn't it? There is definitely some skill to it.
No. Yes, there is skill to the DJing side of things, but he was popular, and in the grand scheme of things, that's all you need to know in terms of whether he was any good, right? Because if someone is, if a DJ is popular, there is a reason why. How am I meant to get to these, Ben?
I don't know.
I don't know either. It's bugging me.
Zap them.
Well, I could, but I've zapped them. Would you ever go on the radio?
Yeah.
What would you do?
Sort of limerick.
Obviously, I have been on the radio.
I could probably do a DJ thing. Maybe it would be a phone in about something, but I can't bear those things. Honestly, asking normal people to contribute their opinions is probably the worst thing that ever happened in the news cycle.
I mean, you may well be right.
Colin in fucking Bournemouth thinks about the Euro. So yeah, Steve Wright died.
Yes. Did you mourn him?
Well, no, I was saddened. Not massively.
That went wrong.
Did it? Oh yeah, it did, didn't it?
Fuck's sake. I was trying to cut the bloody thingy, and I didn't even shoot at a thing that was...
No.
All this stuff needs to go in there now. Trouble is, it's all just in the way. Some of it doesn't even need to go in there. That's not how you do it, kids at home. Yeah, if you want another topic, go for it.
Is that one of your topics?
What, Steve Wright? Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily think I had an awful lot to say about it, but I knew it was worth talking about.
Let's see. I've got some big ones and some small.
I mean, I can grab one of mine if you want, but the trouble is we have so few of them.
No, that's all right. I'll do another one of mine.
I was going to try and pull together a connection plan, but I got home later than I planned.
Well, you could find one on the internet, really.
Yeah, I could. Whether I will or not is a whole different matter, but I could, theoretically.
So there was some very small news story. Gregg Wallace. Do you know Gregg Wallace?
Yes, I believe I read this. He's, among other things, he does MasterChef, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know what the other things are. I'm assuming cooking.
Yeah. His hour-by-hour routine, he published it in the Telegraph.
He did indeed.
And people pointed out that it sounded rather Partridge-esque. I have to agree.
My knowledge of this is entirely an article that I read on the BBC, which I'm assuming is probably your knowledge of it as well.
I've got it up right now.
I bet you have, you dirty bastard.
Yeah. He says he wakes up at 5 o'clock and reads for an hour before checking the sign-up numbers for his health program. Fair bit Partridge-esque. Then it's a trip to the gym, which lets him in early to have the pool and sauna all to himself. All that exercise means he has less than 18% body fat and a six-pack, which is incredibly Alan Partridge-esque. Reminds me of when he walks around that electronics store, that lets him in after closing.
It's been a while since
I can't remember what that's in, but he gets in and just sort of walks around while the staff sort of stand by and wait for him to bugger off. He also manages to fit in journaling, manifesting, goal setting, and reading self-help books into his routine. Again, very Partridge-esque. This is incredibly Partridge-esque, this bit. Breakfast with his PA is at 10 o'clock at the local Harvester pub. And only 2 hours later, he is back from lunch that his wife has ready on the table. He has a full English, or a fry-up breakfast. With his PA, I can absolutely see Alan Partridge in that.
Yeah, but it'd make Lynn pay.
Yes, yes. But insists on not tipping. This bit drew some criticism.
The fact that he spends 2 hours with his son.
Well, he spends 90 minutes in the afternoon with his 4-year-old non-verbal autistic son, before playing strategy computer games for 2 hours by himself in his home office.
I mean, there's a lot to be said for strategy computer games, to be honest with you.
Well, he said he spends it's an hour and a half with his son, and then 2 hours by himself, which drew some criticism. He responded to this by saying that he does see that's not the only hour and a half. That's not the only time he spends with his son. No, fair enough.
I don't necessarily spend today. How much time do you think I've spent with my son? Really,
20 minutes.
No, realistically, yeah, it's not a massive amount of time because there isn't an awful lot of time on days like today for me to spend the time with him, right? But I still spent time with him. We've been hanging out. We hung out in the car. We touched base. We made sure that we were both on the same page with what was going on. All that kind of shit. You don't necessarily have to be actively spending time with someone to be spending time with them. So I understand his point. I understand everyone else's point.
He has also instead said that he didn't want another child at his age, but his wife did, and he wanted to make her happy.
Which does sound a bit of a dick move. And I vaguely remember reading that. Yeah. You shouldn't have a kid just because one of you wants a kid. You should both want a kid.
I'm a much better father now I'm older, although another child isn't something I would have chosen at my age. I was always very honest with Anna, but it's what she wanted and I loved it. So.
Well.
Caitlin Moran, which I agree with. The general consensus seems to be this is the most Alan Partridge-esque life not actually lived by Alan Partridge. Very, very funny.
Did you hear Tom Hollander's?
Yes.
He had, what was it? He has a. I think he included having a wank on his list. I don't know how seriously he was taking his list.
Well, he says he wakes up around 3 or 4 in the morning, but only because he needs to pee.
Yep.
Life has not been as busy as it used to. He spends his mornings examining his bald patch, weighing himself and putting his stomach in. He also took a nap, ate too much lunch, and listened to BBC Radio 4's The World at One to hear politicians lying or reports of the world ending. If it's sunny, I might go for a cycle ride down the canal. If it's raining, I might masturbate and doze.
Yes, that's it.
Bedtime rituals of the rich and famous.
It's not quite lifestyle stuff, but it'll do. So this ship's already gone to shit, so I'm just going to hack it apart. Although one could say that's what I've always been doing with my lackluster attitude towards this.
Yeah.
Why be anything other than lackluster when you can't die and you're just making money?
Well, speaking of Alan Partridge, there's a new Alan Partridge series coming out.
Is there really?
Called Alan Partridge and Did Those Feet. Now you haven't read Big Beacon, have you?
No.
The most recent book.
No.
So part of Big Beacon is that remember Andy Gray and Richard Keys, is it?
It's either blokes.
They were the two. football commentators who got fired for being sexist.
Okay, no, I didn't know
No, the
that.
premise is that he joins them in Saudi Arabia for several months after having a slight breakdown after losing this time. Goes to Saudi Arabia and lives there with them, and they take the piss out of him, and he can't understand the Scottish one, so the other one has to translate.
Okay.
And the gist of this new series is that it's Alan Partridge returning to the UK after spending all that time in Saudi Arabia.
Of course.
Hang on, I'll get the synopsis up because Alan Partridge and did the okay. In his new documentary series and did those feat with Alan Partridge, we follow the beloved and, to be fair, revered broad. He reintegrates into life in Britain after a year working in Saudi Arabia. What begins as a documentary about homecoming soon morphs into something more personal, as Alan realises that the happiness he thought he'd feel at being back in Norwich just hasn't materialised. Missing. As we follow Alan as he sets off on a quest to understand his funk and to share what he learns with the nation. And if he ends up being seen as a mental health champion for the middle-aged who's a good fit to present other issues-led documentary strands, so be it. Over six episodes, Alan explores exactly half a dozen areas, exactly half a dozen of the areas that play a part in keeping us funk-free, from home lives to work lives to the importance of nature to relationships, pastimes, to a sixth topic he's not worked out yet because he's a proper journalist, not just a sausage machine knocking out content.
Okay.
It's a journey through the mental health of himself and the country he loves, brackets the UK including Northern Ireland, to ask, are we mentally unwell, mentally challenged, sad, cross, disturbed, or just plain fed up? Alan Partridge comments, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia enjoys extensive oil and natural gas reserves, but has also seen economic growth in other areas such as agriculture production, retail trade, construction and transport. It directs some 69 billion to military expenditure each year, and yet despite all that, I somehow felt incomplete. So yeah, doesn't say when it's coming out, unfortunately, but I look forward to watching it. I do kind of wish. I mean, I mentioned this before, but I think Alan Partridge would be good on some sort of celebrity dating show, because it's Alan trying to appeal to the audience to stay in if there's a live vote, appealing to producers for more work, and trying to appeal to an attractive woman too.
Because he wants to get laid.
Yes, there's three different aspects to it. I think that could be quite interesting. Doubt it'll ever happen. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Oh no, I accidentally burned the poster. Sorry, I was trying to work something out and I fucked it up.
So apparently, did those feet. I found a Reddit post from 2 years ago, titled "Has anybody heard anything about and did those feet since 2019?"
Okay.
I guess it's something that they've just been working on for a while.
Must be. I've lost off my bearings. I've lost my bearings.
Strange.
There we go. Am I meant to detach for... Oh, is it all just furnace at this point? Okay, yeah, fair enough. Dump you down there then. Have you been watching anything on the telly at the moment? Not like right now.
Have you?
I have finished watching the Batman series that I was watching, the animated TV show from the 90s. So I have moved on to my next program. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes. What did you make of it?
Well,
what are you making of it?
It's taken some getting into, to be honest with you. There's a lot of jokes in it that I wouldn't normally find all that funny. Oh shit! Didn't mean to do that. Like the last episode had them getting a gun because someone had robbed the pub that they work in, and like there was a whole thing about how they need to get a gun and shooting a gun and how it makes them feel so powerful and all that kind of crap. Which, like, as a advocate for not having guns, obviously they were playing it for laughs, right? And I get that, but some of the humour just didn't quite hit with me. One of them, there's a point in second episode, I think it is, where two of them are trying to pick up women at an abortion rally.
Yeah.
Either a pro or anti-abortion side. One of them literally swaps what side they're on because of the people that they're not attracted to the people that they're on the side that they're on.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, they are literally bastards. They are bastards.
Oh yeah, no, that's the point. They're appalling human beings.
Yeah, and it's very apparent that they are.
Who get what they deserve frequently.
I was hopeful that there'd be a bit more a bit more ambiguity to it, but you know,
I'm sort of fine with being out and out scumbags. I think I've seen a few episodes. I've certainly seen some clips. There's a clip I found quite recently, and I've returned to it a number of occasions, where Danny DeVito's character is choking in a restaurant.
Yes, I have seen that a few times. In fact, actually, it came up on YouTube. I'm assuming because you had seen it.
Possibly, yeah.
And then afterwards, I saw a variation of it on TikTok.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the first two reactions aren't that great, but I think D, is it, the woman?
Yeah.
Her sort of morbid fascination, and then the last guy, I can't remember his name, his sort of completely disinterested look is sort of perfect.
Dennis.
Yeah.
Yes. Danny DeVito's not in the first series.
No, he's not. I've heard it.
I was surprised by this.
Yeah.
What's that? So you think you heard it hits its stride when he's introduced?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I look forward to that. I don't want to know when it is. I kind of want to just have it happen. So don't tell me. But I am looking forward to it. I was looking forward to it anyway, because Danny DeVito is one of those actors that I have a lot of respect for. Especially after hearing the stories that I've heard about while Matilda was being made.
Yeah, he's also pretty left-wing.
Oh, that helps, doesn't it?
He's a Bernie Sanders supporter. Did you know Wallace, I can't remember his surname, the inconceivable guy from
Wallace
The Princess
Shawn.
Bride? Yeah, he's a Marxist.
Really?
Yeah, he's written like essay. I think he wrote a book on it.
Wow.
That's pretty dope.
That's inconceivable.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, I don't think that means what he thinks it means.
I'll have to watch My Dinner with Andre again.
The Giant.
You know My Dinner with Andre?
No, I'm not familiar.
Basically, it's a film. It's about two old friends who meet again, and they talk about like theatre. And I watched it when I was younger, and I didn't really get it, but I feel like I might appreciate it an awful lot more if I watch it now, because it seems like my sort of thing. Sort of boring and...
I mean, from what I've heard about what you do watch, yeah, it probably is your thing if it's boring.
Oh, how dare you.
A lot of what you tell me you've watched sounds quite dull to me.
I know, I think I might be a really boring person.
But step one is knowing it, right?
Well, let me put it this way. I think I'm interesting.
Everyone thinks they're interesting.
Yeah, I think I don't think I'm not interesting. I'm boring in the sense that I'm not fun, rather than not interesting.
Yeah. Okay, I can live with that.
Okay. Well, good, I guess.
No, I'm not going to argue with you over it.
Do I care whether you...
No, why should you care what I think?
No,
I would say that of the two of us, I am more fun than you. So
yeah,
you know, like just as a statement of fact, take everything about about the two of us.
I was asked out to drinks by colleagues though.
Oh, I can't remember last time.
Only because I happened to be there while they were discussing their plans for Friday.
So,
but I think they genuinely did mean the invitation. I'm sure.
I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's a work-related matter, and it's best not to. But I very recently was questioning to myself whether, you know, there's that thing where blokes don't know when women are flirting with them.
Yeah.
And we sort of just assume they're being kind.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a moment where I questioned whether it was one or the other, right, recently, with a work colleague. And I didn't go into it and think, oh yeah, they're flirting with me, and hey, I'm going to make a move or whatever. Like it was a curiosity thing rather than anything else. Is this flirting, or are they just being nice? And I now know, or I'm now more sure that it was just being nice because we found out this week that they're pregnant.
Are you the father?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't remember doing anything with her.
Hell of a feat if you were.
I mean, very impressive considering, having not slept with
Might
someone.
even be able to conjure up some respect for you.
What, getting someone pregnant remotely?
Yeah.
You're making me remember the time I donated. Because that'd be remote, wouldn't it, technically? But
Wait,
no, anyway.
Wait,
yeah, so
no,
there was...
You know what? No.
No, but
Wait, an actual donation, or is this the conception of your child?
No, I donated to a couple that we knew.
You?
Yeah, years ago. It didn't come to anything. Well, I went to the place where they live. It went in a cup. And they squirted it in.
Oh.
You asked a question. I wasn't going to go into it, but you asked.
The life you lead.
I know, right? You should be so lucky. But it didn't. Nothing happened, and it's probably for the best because they broke up a few months later. It could have been really bad if I'd... My life would be a lot more complicated now if I had a second, technically illegitimate... Yeah, if I had a second illegitimate child.
Second illegitimate child, Jesus.
Well, I'm not. I was never married, was I?
Oh yeah, that's right. He's bless him. It's not his fault.
No, it's just life. I'm illegitimate technically because I was born outside of wedlock, right?
Means a lot.
Yeah, to your face. You heard. I'm not sure this is going to work. Also, this is getting done a lot quicker, but we're not going to have time to do two. So actually, maybe you would need to fly through your topics. Or do you want me to do mine and then you can fly through yours for your video?
Well, I'd have to concentrate.
I know, that's the problem. That's why I'd rather save some of
What about Gavin and Stacy?
Apparently there's going to be another Christmas episode, even though we were specifically told there wasn't going to be. But then it was a source thing, and people don't know what's going on, and I keep out of it because I haven't seen the series as a whole. So
okay, so
I'm not that
last episode of Gavin and Stacey was the Christmas special in 2019,
and it was a cliffhanger, wasn't it?
It famously ended with the cliffhanger where Nessa proposes to Smithy, which I find Gavin and Stacey kind of fascinating because, Gavin and Stacey sort of very quickly became side characters in that, and Nessa and Smithy really sort of began to take over the limelight, which I'm sure annoyed poor James Horn, who I think is struggling for work. May be fine, who knows?
He does bad education, doesn't he?
He did, yeah.
No, he's coming back.
Oh, right.
Well, it has recently come back, so, Maybe that's why he's pissed, is because that's what he can get. He can get bad education, which I don't think has Jack Whitehall in it because he's now big. James Horn is the support actor for fucking people who end up being massive.
Yeah. Yes, and people. It ended with a cliffhanger, and people going, "Oh wow, when's the next one?" And they said, "Well, we have no plans as of yet," which is, I think you'll agree, a bit of a dick move.
Well, I think it could work both ways.
Sorry?
I think it could work both ways. You can argue for a cliffhanger ending, being the ending of it, or you could argue for, like, the Italian Job.
That's a different sort of cliffhanger.
It's still a fucking cliffhanger. It's more literal a cliffhanger than.
It's a cliffhanger that doesn't really demand a resolution. It works just as well. I don't think this one works just as well if you don't answer that question.
Are you honestly telling me that right now, what you're basically telling me is that it's more important that we get the answer to what happened in Gavin and Stacey, as to whether we get the answers as to what happened to the blokes from the Italian Job?
Yeah,
that's what you're telling me.
Yeah,
I don't think I agree with that in any way, shape, or form. And I feel like I've lost a little bit of respect for you.
All I'm saying is that it's not the sort of cliffhanger that only serves the purpose of, like, the entire point of that is it's the joke and how will they get out of this one.
Yeah.
Whereas with Gavin and Stacey, we followed these characters. This is, those two characters' relationship is a core element of that series. and you set up a cliffhanger that, seems to be leading into the final chapter in a one-off Christmas special, it sort of demands to be answered. And they've done that and just left it. I think it's a dick move. Rob Brydon has previously said in the past he has no intention to return as Bryn. And
well, he's too busy with, Would I Lie to You?
Yeah, I mean,
because he's become a big star.
Alison Steadman's probably. I mean, she's got a sitcom, and she's doing theatre and stuff. I don't know whether she probably would.
Larry Lamb, he died, didn't he?
I mean, Larry Lamb's not got a lot on, presumably.
Didn't he die?
No.
I thought.
Yes, and a rumor started circulating that there's going to be a Christmas special this year, and everybody who likes Gavin Stacy went fucking nuts. And then Ruth Jones was promoting a book on, I think, Radio 4, maybe, or Radio. She was on the radio, and she was asked about it, and she said it is just a rumor, sadly. There was some people had said they'd not been like Dave Coaches, who's a minor character, said he hadn't heard anything about it, and a lot of fans are saying.
Hang on, that's not his real name.
It's a character's name.
Okay, I was just to be clear, because you're acting like the bloke, the character hadn't been told that the show was coming back when.
Yeah, and some people on the Reddit were. I mean, it's sort of like the Inside Number 9 episode with the bus. They were saying, well, she hasn't said that. She hasn't really denied it. All she said is that they're rumors. But I would sort of read that as a denial. I mean, I could be wrong.
I would absolutely read that as a denial. Where's this fucking connection?
But I do think it's a really shitty move. In a sense, it makes sense for them to do it now, with James Corden no longer having his big chat show, and being regarded not particularly well, and maybe he wants to do the thing that made him really popular. I don't know. It doesn't speak particularly well for Ruth Jones that she gets on with him so well, quite frankly. But anyway, I don't know. I just think it was a really. I mean, I thought it was pretty shitty at the time. I think it's pretty shitty now.
I was never that invested.
No, I'm not that invested, but I've seen all of Gavin and Stacey. I didn't really find it funny. I found it charming in places for some of the characters. I thought Smithy was a twat.
You thought Smithy was a twat, or you think James Corden's a twat?
Both.
Okay.
I think about Gavin and Stacey. I mentioned this in my review when I talked about James Corden and Matthew Horn and things like that, and how the focus shifted. But I also mentioned how that premise works, or could easily be a popular sitcom in any decade, really, couldn't it?
Yeah.
These two families, two people, long distance relationship, meet up, their families, shenanigans, etc. And it's navigating that relationship. That works regardless of what need to tweak a few of the details. But yeah, it just rubbed me up the wrong way. It seemed so short-sighted, and they hadn't really planned anything further than just the proposal, and then they just sort of put it out there and went on with their lives. And I mean, it was insanely popular. It was the most watched TV show of the decade.
That says something, doesn't it?
I mean, they got it right in at the end. It was huge. So the BBC would certainly want it.
This is true. They would.
So
I just want to say I have removed the coolant, the reactor, and the engine all in one go here.
Lovely stuff.
That is fine. That's a big chunk of ship that I took about there. And all of this, really, I think can go in the processor. So actually, I think we're nearly finished.
You want to do another one?
Well, we haven't got time to do another one. The only reason this one went as quick as it did is because I ended up smashing the thing apart by accident. I didn't mean to do it. It just happened. I accidentally blew up half the ship.
Is there time for a short topic?
Yeah, there's plenty of time for a short topic. It's just that.
Well, I might throw two in because I've got two short ones.
Okay. I heard you've only got one short one, Sunshine.
What?
Hang on. What part of it? What is it that's with your topics that means that you need to concentrate? Is it being able to remember what they are, or is it actually talking about them?
Well, I need to look at the list.
Well, just send me a picture of a list and I'll mention them.
No, you won't.
If you ask me, if you want to do the topics.
We mentioned before in the last video about O.J. Simpson.
Yes, we did. If you didn't watch it, you should.
I heard a rumor. It was TMZ. They said he had prostate cancer.
Okay.
That is all. Really.
Fair enough.
Might have
if it fits,
cancer. He might not. Yeah, I did see a joke that said, when the
diagnosis fits.
When the proctologist if the proctologist doesn't pretend that the glove doesn't fit, he's missed a trick. Yes, but also in cancer news, back to the King. No, I heard
Elvis.
No, Bruce Springsteen.
I bet he was the boss.
Yeah. No, I heard that
a
royal commentator mentioned that Charles has always been pretty into homeopathic treatment.
Yeah.
Well, it's been suggested that he may eschew, chemotherapy and whatnot in favour of homeopathic treatment. I'm not convinced, frankly, but it did occur to me how not funny, but how noteworthy it would be if Charles pulled a Steve Jobs and tried to treat his very treatable cancer with fruit smoothies, and then ended up dying of it, like a year and a bit into his reign.
Yeah, I mean, Will would have been double promoted, wouldn't he?
I know that was short order. Yeah, quick.
Yeah, because
moving through the ranks.
Well, Megan's only how many accidents away from it now? How many quote-unquote accidents?
Yeah, I mean, fair few.
Not that many.
British establishment would shit itself to death if that happened.
Lovely. Even less people to object.
Fewer, but yeah. Yeah. Are you almost done?
I'm ready. I can stop whenever.
Oh, you have finished?
Yeah, I finished. I was letting
you. You're just moving about, are you?
I was letting you talk.
Well,
because you were talking about the topics you wanted to fit in. I was being nice.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you very much. I've got 8 left.
You got 8
Bye.
Left. Hang on. Let's see how badly I did.
Okay.
Because it didn't go to plan. But because I destroyed 10.1% of it. But I did still get quite a lot more. So we are the best, even though we're not that good.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Right. Bye, everyone.
What's funny?
No, I'll tell you in a minute.
Bye.
Bye.